Roly-poly, daddy's little fatty. He can eat an apple pie. What's happening, YouTube? Anybody know Bob Wills? He made that song famous. I don't think he wrote it, but he made it famous. We're gonna do some carb syncing on the Guzzi. This is a tool I have called a Carb Mate. It's I've already got it plugged in, ready to go. I've started the bike, let it warmed up, put everything on it, and forgot to mention this morning I had to rebuild the starter on the fly. It was kind of froze up a little bit. It's a Bosch, and quite a few parts on it. It's still not right. I don't think the Bendix is kicking in enough, or might be kicking in too much, but you got to hit it a couple times to get it to start. But it's been starting right up. It's doing pretty good. I just thought maybe I balanced the carbs by ear, which I'm usually off, I don't know, quite a bit when I do that. I don't recommend doing that. People say they can balance carburetors by ear, but yeah, I've never had any good luck with it. I've done a lot of dual carb setups, and every carb that's in this garage I've set it up. My wife's Triumph has 3-cylinder. There's the ports. This Carb Mate is set up to do 2 carburetors at a time. They make adapters to do 4 carburetors. I've done a few of the old 6-cylinder Hondas, CBX or whatever they call them. They're pain in the rear. I've done that carburetor, but you don't have to sync it to the other carburetor because there's only one on there. Same with the mini bike here, it's only got one carburetor. You don't need to sync it to the other carburetor because it doesn't exist. The 3-cylinder, I start out in the middle, sync it to the other one, then I put it on the other one, sync it to that one, and then I switch them to the 2 outboard carburetors and just work my way back and forth. It's the way I do 4 cylinders too. They make adapters where you can do 4 cylinders with this, but it's just as easy to do it that way. Alright, let's see if this country boy rebuilt that stupid thing out of the way. Get this country boy rebuilt starter will work on me. Alright. There, it stays in idle. I don't know if you can see the flashing lights, but that means old Daryl's off a little bit on the idle adjustment. Oh, it's getting better. This one over here indicates I got a low voltage. See how quickly that thing changed. Barely touched the screw. This thing might be a gas, which would pretty much put an end to syncing the carburetors. Yeah, I need to get a kit and do that starter. Pretty low on gas, I only had a gallon and a half to put in it. Well, I'm barely turning this screw. I don't know if you can see how much I'm turning it, and that's how much of a difference it makes with this. If you're doing it by ear, I usually settle. If I can get those 3 lights to alternate like that, I'm usually pretty good. And that is setting the sync and idle. I've already adjusted the idle air speed. Doesn't really have anything to do with this, or the idle air mixture. It doesn't really have anything to do with it, a little bit, but it's not worth using the tool for it. And when you speed up, I don't know if you guys seen that. That was about $4 grand. When you speed up, you get a differential between the two cylinders, and you take that adjustment out with this bolt. It's threaded into the top, and you thread it out or you thread it in, depending upon which way this thing is telling you to go. It makes it much smoother on the freeway. There we go, we don't have to yell now. But the red bike, the Big Guzzi, the 1000cc job, it turned it into a 70, from a 70 mile an hour bike into about an 85 mile an hour bike. I ride comfortably with no buzzing going on at 85 miles an hour now. Check local listings, but that may not be allowed in your area code. Another thing with this Carb mate, it's got different parameters. You start out with the highest parameter, and generally, when you hook all these hoses up, the atmospheric condition changes and so forth. But you take this, you put it at the high where you start out at, which I always start out at the low parameter anyways, because it's usually pretty close. But you can adjust this 0. There's a little smiley face that tells you that you're good. If you go too far, anyways, it's happy. It's very happy. But I usually go back and forth till I find the center where the two yellow lights bounce on that, and that gives you your good 0 point, your reference, so that you can maintain your good speed with that. Alright, I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate everybody's support on the smoking. I've got about 10. Those are barbecue skewers, bamboo barbecue skewers that I've cut in half, and I chew on those. Got about 10 of those I've gnawed on today. And working on stuff like this, I generally will smoke and work on stuff, and I've kept it down to 6 cigarettes today since I got up at 6:30. It is now 7:20, and I'll be going in the house, showering, going to the big parking lot in Englewood, Ohio, right near us, and pardon me, going near a big parking lot, watch fireworks, and my wife is doing an outreach and giving away water through the church. Just the way we demonstrate God's love and kind of bring the community together in community events. Alright guys, thanks for watching. You have a good 4th of July. Bye.